Greetings, friend, and welcome to the Park Hopper Daily Interviews. This is show number 9 for Monday, March 29th, 2021, and on today's episode, we are scrounging for breadcrumbs at the most lackluster quick-service park since reopening. That's right, we are headed to a galaxy far, far away, to Disney's Hollywood Studios theme park to attempt to find some quick service. Where have all the options gone? Why is it so difficult to find a seat? Is it really COVID's fault, or is this the park that never was and always will be impossible to find a quick and satisfying bite? Join your hosts Kathryn and Anita Boyer as they discuss the quick service dining options at Disney's Hollywood Studios here on the Park Hopper Daily Interviews.
Hey, it's Kathryn with Park Hopper Daily. I'm here with Anita for yet another podcast.
Hello!
We are working our way through the parks and talking about quick service. So we've made our way
about quick service.
We've made our way to Hollywood Studios, which, Anita, I think we can both agree is the least successful quick service park at Walt Disney World.
We started at the top. We started with Epcot last week, and now we're gonna go to the. Although I mean, I don't know. I might have some complaints about Magic Kingdom too, but we'll save that. But yeah, Hollywood Studios, especially now, it's rough. It's rough. I think that they are not doing, and this is like literally based off of my experience that ended in January. So hopefully things are improved. And if they are, don't come at me. I'm going from my sole experience of how it was November, December, and like early January. But the hours were very wonky. Like nothing was open from when the park opened till the park closed. They had staggered times. And listen, I get it. But the way they used to give out little times guides or something, like just, and I know it's on the app, but then you have to go to each one individually. And like, I'm sorry, I'm not a beautiful mind. Like I can't, I already do enough like Tetris and trying to figure out what's open when and park passes and all this stuff. Like I just, like you had a friend who went recently, like and this was just a couple of weeks ago, we had a friend and they couldn't even get a beer. Like it took them forever just to get a beer. And it's like, that shouldn't be a difficult task. And I think it goes to show just that the quick service, the options, the availability, the line control. Thank God for mobile ordering, but man.
Yeah, so we had a friend, like Anita said, just last month, they were down there for an adults only trip. And so they had park hopped over to Hollywood Studios. And I mean, this isn't even just addressing quick service, like this is kiosks, the whole thing. And all they wanted to do was get a cold beer. And it took forever for them to finally get one, which they finally did at what I would argue is probably the best quick service location for me.
I agree.
In Hollywood Studios, and that is Docking Bay 7 Food and Cargo in Galaxy's Edge. Docking Bay 7, has a number of different dishes, all kind of like space themed, but definitely accessible. Fried chicken, macaroni and cheese. The Ronto wraps become available there as well when Ronto Roasters, the other favorite quick service location at Hollywood Studios that I have, and I think Anita has as well.
Oh yeah.
Anything
Star Wars.
Yeah. But the food, I think the food at Docking Bay 7 really holds up, I mean, it's not just chicken fingers and hot dogs. And it's really solid. I mean, I think the Ronto wrap has to be like hands down my favorite quick service food item.
Have you had the breakfast one?
No, I've only had the lunch one.
The breakfast one is solid, but I will say for both locations, it is probably the least bang for your buck. But what you lack in serving size and affordability, I think they more than make up for in theming and like cute factor. So this is not a complaint, it's just an observation. You are going to spend like a solid 25-35% more per like serving And it's actually going to be a smaller serving. So that was like the one place that Joe and I finally started getting our own like entrees, and then we would get one of the chicken tip yip and one of the, I actually pulled up the menu because I want to make sure I said it right. So the Andorian fried chicken tip yip, that's the crispy chicken with choice of vegetable mashed potatoes with herb gravy or macaroni and cheese and roasted vegetables. We usually went macaroni and cheese because it's so good. Or the Batuan beef pot roast was so good, and that comes with braised beef pot roast, cavatelli pasta, wilted kale, mushrooms, but that's going to be $20. And the chicken tip yip, it's like a fried chicken like this big, a little piece of fried chicken, and it's $15.50, and then you get a drink on top of that. So you almost spend as much as you would at a sit down dining. I mean, you don't have the whole tip scenario. So it's one of the most expensive quick service, but you get to sit, the interior of the space was so spread out when we were there in December. We actually it was one of the 3 places we sat inside and felt really okay about everything. And they have a really beautiful outdoor space as well. And just from the chairs to the tables to the sounds to the lighting, like everything was just so cool. We're like, just take our money, Disney. We get it.
Yeah, so we ate outside when we were there, and it was great. It was really nice especially for a lot of people now, it's really nice to have outdoor seating. So that was a real plus for us too. We didn't do a full meal there. We split a Ronto wrap. But I mean, I don't know. I just feel like just for the theming and the food, it's probably worth the extra money if you're at Hollywood Studios.
Definitely. But it's also the furthest away. So if you're coming in hungry, one like pro tip now is you can make a mobile order without even being there. And for places like Docking Bay 7, and especially this is where I'm going to get a little ranty. Woody's Lunchbox.
Yeah.
Like we went once, it was noon, and we were like, we're not quite hungry, but let's see what they have available. And thank goodness, because we wanted to, we always do a little pilgrimage, like a little tribute memorial moment in Woody's Lunchbox, because Joe's mother passed away a couple of years ago with Alzheimer's, and there's a table at Woody's Lunchbox that is like a handwritten note from his mom. It's like, you're my favorite deputy, love mom. And Joe, like it just reminded Joe when we first went there, reminded him so much of like sweet little notes that his mom would write him. And so we always try to make Woody's Lunchbox part of our Hollywood Studios day, because it's like our merry moments. So it has a lot of sentimental meaning for us to be there. So we're trying to like make sure that we get our mobile order in. It was noon, and Woody's Lunchbox closed I think the park was open until 8 o'clock, and Woody's Lunchbox is only open till 5. And their quickest, like the soonest like order we could place was for $4.50. And I was like, you're booked until $4.50, like for a mobile order. And I get it. It's not because they can't churn the food out faster. It's because they know that you can't grab it and walk around and eat it. Like they need to provide a place for you to either have one of the standing tables or one of the sitting tables, but you need to be stationary to eat, and they have to accommodate all of that. But it open when the park opens, stay open until the end, because there's no outdoor sit down option. Yeah. There's no, like, I'm not going to go to 50's Primetime Diner right now before I get vaccinated and things are a little better. I'm not going to go sit down in Hollywood Brown Derby. And you can't that was the only place that had some outdoor service, but now that's only like overflow for the bar. You have to walk up, you can get a drink, but you can't order food out there anymore. So there's literally like, you can go to Anaheim Produce, you can go to Woody's Lunchbox. There's like, if you want to sit on a curb or just on the ground, that there's outdoor seating available at ABC Commissary. They did open, I don't know if it's just for waiting for your food, but there's some outdoor dining available, like city for quick service at a Backlot Express, which is okay. And then Baseline, but they're also just, you walk in and even at opening their lines around the corner. It's like they really need to open up some more little benches or tables or high tops like they have all over Epcot. I would love to see Hollywood Studios get a little bit more Epcot-y with their tables, that, especially because that's the only place you're allowed to like eat or take off your mask and have a sip of water. And it's like, it's really difficult to snag one of those, even when it's not. I feel bad for people there this week, like for the next few weeks, all this spring break time. It's like, may the force be with you.
Yeah, well, and Woody's lunchbox suffered from a lack of seating prior to COVID, so now it's just like a total disaster. I would say, probably Woody's lunchbox would be up there for me on quick service locations if it wasn't for the seating issue.
Yeah.
And otherwise, I think you just have to kind of have low expectations when you're going to quick service locations like ABC Commissary, even Backlot Express. Like, you're just going to get chicken fingers and French fries and, things of that nature. Nothing's going to.
The holidays, they had a great hot chocolate flight. They had and this was if you wanted an alcoholic kind of thing. They did have a fun non-alcoholic hot chocolate that I got for Joe, and I got the little hot chocolate flight. It was like a peppermint schnapps, eggnog. That was really cute. But yeah, it's pretty basic.
Yeah, I mean, and I think we did ABC Commissary pre-COVID for one of the early morning magic experiences, which if they ever return that, I will say that was the best money I ever spent at a Disney park.
And you are an annual pass holder, and see, that's why I didn't do it, because I was like, why am I going to spend more money? I already have my ticket. It felt like a waste of money, but you're saying it was good.
It was totally worth it. I mean, you have to have a park ticket to do early morning magic. So it's an additional ticket on top of what you already have, whether it's an annual pass or a daily ticket. I think it was about $100 per person. So for our family of four, it definitely wasn't inexpensive, but we got into the park. I think it was about 7:00 in the morning. It included breakfast. That was like,
that's good.
The experience, an okay breakfast at ABC Commissary. And then you had access to Toy Story Land, 2 hours before the park opened. This was right after Toy Story Land debuted. It's still a hard park to get on Slinky Dog without a huge wait.
Yeah.
We rode Slinky Dog Dash 5 times in a row, walking on it.
Oh my God, you were texting me. You were like, we're on the first, and like 5 minutes later, you're like, going on Slinky Dog again. I'm like, what? And then I was like, you know what?
It was literally like we would get off, we would circle around, we would get back on. We did Toy Story Mania like half a dozen times. We did Alien Swirling Saucers. Anybody who's been listening to this knows I'm not like the biggest Alien Swirling Saucers fan, because it's like a 3-second ride.
Yeah.
But you know what? When you're able to walk on it, it's a little easier to digest.
Yeah.
Second ride. So yes, I would highly recommend if Early Morning Magic comes back to Hollywood Studios or Magic Kingdom, which they also did an Early Morning Magic where you could access Fantasyland early. Definitely worth the price of admission.
To get on Seven Dwarves without madness, that would be great. And Peter Pan, and that's so fun. I love that. So yeah, I think we really covered all of the quick service options at Hollywood Studios. And I will say I do like Anaheim Produce, which is the quick service on your way over to, and actually, is there another? I think there's another one. Is it Rosie's or something?
Yeah, Rosie's All-American Cafe.
That's the one, yes. So that is a little bit more fun. It's also like burgers and chicken nuggets, but I think they have like a seasonal burger like that has a little bit more a little more pizzazz to it. I got a great burger once, but it was many years ago. This is just a story. This isn't anything you can get now. But it was a Star Wars themed, like the dark side burger, and it had a black bun that had like a Darth Vader like branded onto it, and like it came. I also got the BB-8 cupcake, and I just remember at the time being like, "This is so cool to like get like Star." There was pre Galaxy's. I don't even think they had announced Galaxy's Edge yet. Like it was really early in the Disney Star Wars acquisition.
So another quick service location, which for the record, I will never go to. I won't even try it to find out that it's so bad, is Pizza Rizzo.
Oh my goodness, I forgot about Pizza Rizzo. I've never been.
Yeah, you shouldn't go. I mean, we're New Yorkers, so we have self-respect when it comes to the pizza that we consume. This is like
I love it.
Disgusting, like Florida Disney World pizza. And the only place that you should be eating pizza at Walt Disney World is Via Napoli or Pizza Ponte in Disney Springs. Everywhere else, walk away. Just
unless you want like a soggy cardboard. So I have been inside. It wasn't open. I don't know if I was just there on a weird day, but the theming, like it is worth going inside just to check out all of the Muppets theming. I think that we spent like a solid hour and a half just looking every sign. It was like at Skipper Canteen in Magic Kingdom, where every little note, every little poster, it was jokes. They referenced each other. They're like someone's looking for a roommate, someone's like getting kicked out of their house. Like it's so funny. And then they also have, like you would see, it's like the Muppets version of kind of divey. Like they think they're the best pizza in New York, but it's a little divey. So I think it's like they know. I love the Muppets, and I'm glad that there is a Muppets themed thing, but I have always been totally miffed that they have not taken advantage of their IP and made a proper Pizza Planet. Like how 100%.
Absolutely.
Why was it Pizza Rizzo? Like what? It was Pizza Planet before, but it was it wasn't. Like it had like 3 games. It was bad food. And I'm like, when we watched Toy Story, that was the first thing I thought of, like, oh, I can't wait until they make this real. Like I'm gonna get to go here and like win a little green man and like that whole thing. And like they never did that for us.
I know. And it's such a waste. And it's not like they don't have the space. They're developing that barbecue table service restaurant for Toy Story.
Like they just opened Regal Eagle about a year ago. Like we got barbecue. Like that's
barbecue is everywhere. I mean, it's everywhere. Theme park barbecue. But definitely a totally wasted moment to not have Pizza Planet.
It's the claw.
Yeah. But also, not for nothing, I love the idea of a heavily themed Muppets restaurant. I love the Muppets. I feel like the Muppets get such short shrift at Walt Disney World. Even like their even the merchandise location, like when you exit the
Muppet Vision.
Yeah, the Muppet Vision. It's like there's like 2 plush and it's all Star Wars otherwise.
And it hasn't even been open since COVID.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And so, I mean, It's a Wonderful Shop has been closed. I know.
With Pizza Rizzo, make Pizza Rizzo something that's worthy of New York pizza, because I'm assuming that's where it's supposed to take place, in Rizzo Pratt's restaurant in New York City. So like, come on, you did it at Via Napoli, just give us good pizza.
Yep. I totally agree.
That's my TED Talk for today.
Yep. Thanks for coming to our TED Talk. Disney, if you're watching, which I'm sure you are because we're like totally famous, give us Pizza Planet, a proper Pizza Planet. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, so thanks everybody. I think that does wrap it for Hollywood Studios. Like we said, there's not a lot going on in this park. Although, I think we actually covered some good grounds.
Yeah. And you made the best point. If you're going to the park hungry and looking for food, don't go to Hollywood Studios. Get your buns over to Epcot and then come to Hollywood Studios for the atmosphere and for, the ambiance, check out the lands, hopefully find yourself a cold beer if you can. But don't go. I mean, I've seen people on like the Disney Facebook sphere complaining that they like went at opening and they couldn't find breakfast. I'm like, well, that's your fault. Like, you're dumb. Like, you should know better. You can barely get a breakfast option at any of the parks right now. They're really not doing that. I think Magic Kingdom had like one. You can go to wherever the Starbucks is. If you want breakfast at a Disney parks, you go to Creature Comforts or the Red Trolley, whatever. Yeah. Like that's it. And if you don't want Starbucks, if
you're at Hollywood Studios and you've got some time in the morning, take the Skyliner over to Riviera and go to that quick service. That's an excellent quick service, and it's a skyline away.
Yep.
Okay. So I think that will wrap it for this week. Thank you as always for tuning in and listening, whether you're listening through the podcast or on YouTube. Please subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications too, so you don't miss us when we have new content showing up. And thanks for tuning in. We really appreciate it.
Bye. Bye, Kathryn.